For a long time, like up until my late teens, I didn't see the value in traveling. Uh, I think I traveled probably for the first time when I was younger. I went to Florida for some reason. I don't even remember it. It was just like a beach, I think, and maybe I saw an alligator. Don't remember that. And the next time like I really traveled, like traveled to another city, was early teens, right? And it was Atlanta. Uh, and I was just so unimpressed. I've over the years grown to really love Atlanta. You guys know I was just down there a little while ago. And that's because I have people there that I like, though. Like, Midtown Atlanta itself is a highway, I think. Like, I still don't I've been, oh my god, at least 10 trips plus down there, I think, at this point. Like, I've spent months there, and I still have yet to have somebody point out to me what Midtown Atlanta is, outside of, like, a college campus and maybe a highway. But besides the point, this was because I grew up in New York, right? And coming from New York, going to any other city is like, where is this city? You know, New York is a city that is maybe doesn't have the most urban sprawl, but is like big, it's tall, and it's very walkable. So like having any sort of drivable city was like, where is this, right? The trip that changed my perspective on travel was when I went and backpacked around Europe for about a month with my older brother, right? And we hit up a bunch of cities in the month span, and even while it was happening, though, I'll be honest, I didn't fully understand it, right? Because I was like, this is cool, but I had such an apathetic approach to it. And this Paint Talk will be somewhat me describing miscellaneous stories about traveling, but mostly it'll be about my shift in perspective with it. Because I think that's what's so interesting, is how that's changed over the years. Like, I always had this idea of like, yeah, it's cool to hop on a plane and go to another city, but like, I'm good if I don't. And I think it was half because I'm not wrong that there's a ton of stuff around here to do, or even just like driving 2 hours, you can do a ton too. So like these things are true, that like I don't actually need to go do all these things, but there's a value in it that I still didn't see because I hadn't had that experience yet. And I think a lot of you might relate to this, because I think that like, I don't know, this is actually, I think a lot of you might relate to this because I've encountered people recently who have an approach to travel of like, why would I? And I think the internet's done this a little bit too, of like, I'm watching videos on my phone of guys in India, what's the benefit of heading there and meeting people in India when I could watch all of it happening? Like, I see so many things. There's not really that curiosity, right? I think if you go back to like pre-internet times, or even just like super huge ClearNet site times, and like talk to somebody about traveling, they're like, wow, that must be genuinely insane to see on the other side of the world. Now though, like, it's like, I kind of have a gist of what the rest of the world looks like, even if I would like to go. So like, I don't see the value in it quite as much. This is a perspective from a lot of people that I've met that have. And it's not too far from the perspective I had, where I was like, if I go, cool, if I don't, I don't, right? Me and my brother, though, we backpacked around Europe for about a month, and I was like, wow, I'm starting to get it. And I didn't get it right away. The first city we hit was Madrid. I don't really remember it, to be honest. I don't really have much of this was late teens, this is years ago now at this point, and I don't really have a huge memory of Madrid as a city. Seemed cool. Barcelona didn't get the hype. It was colorful, but I really didn't get it. And the next we went to was Berlin, right? And even once I got to Berlin, I got it even less, because I was like, this is the same as, like, it was gray, there were a bunch of concrete buildings. I don't know, was Berlin, or no, not Berlin, oh my god, Munich, right. was Munich on the side of West Germany or East Germany during the Cold War? Because that would dictate why all those buildings were so brick. I thought the food was cool and I thought there were some cool churches, but again, outside of that, I was like, I'm really not getting this. Like, I just didn't see it 100%. And then from there, you know, we went around. I think the city I liked the most was probably Paris. I liked Zurich a lot too, but Paris, I was like, wow, there's like a certain energy here. That's what I've always said about New York, in this sort of vapid and pretentious way to people who don't like the city quite as much as me. I'm like, there's a certain energy to New York I don't think you can get anywhere else. And I think Paris had that energy of like, there is something in the air here that you can feel. I hope there's somebody else in the comments that has also traveled a little bit to these cities, so I'm not just sitting up here sounding like the most pretentious person of all time, because there totally is. There's an energy to a lot of places that you can't get anywhere else. And funny enough, coming back to New York, in the weeks and the months and the years following that travel, I started kind of seeing it. Like, I started looking back in retrospect, and those cities that I didn't find very appealing, Florence and Rome were good examples, where I was like, Italy's kind of whatever. You know, in Italy, I don't think okay, this is such a weird side tangent, and I might have to delete this someday if it ages poorly. Racism's weird in Europe, because like in America, everything is kind of so, or not in America, I can't speak for this whole country. In New York though, it's just not a thing anymore, because like, if I'm to see, like, the day that I see people of one skin color for a full day, I'm like, something bad happened here. Like, something's very, very wrong, right? In Europe though, since the populations of like, you know, people with darker skin just aren't high at all, they have like weird racism within white people, where like in Germany, I know if you have darker hair, they still are like, think you're kind of like a little bit worse than people with blonde hair. So in Germany, I think because some of that bad stuff stuck around, I was coasting over there. In Germany and Zurich, they were like, wow, you are the perfect little German boy. And true, I am half German. So I guess, you know, in a way, this was a return to my homeland. Similar to Puerto Rico, I'm also half Puerto Rican. Nobody will believe it. I'm half German, half Puerto Rican, though, for those wondering at home. So in Italy, people were just really rude. Italy's also like, and I don't know if it's a cultural thing or if it was the time we were there, they're like a little bit more authoritarian, I guess? I don't know if it's authoritarian. I don't know if it's that deep, but like, people were being a lot ruder, and two, like, you can't sit on curbs over there, which was so weird. I think, again, this could just be me coming from New York City, where it's like everybody just does everything all the time and who cares. And that's the attitude of the whole tri-state area. If you go out to the island, or if you go out to New Jersey even, or Connecticut, it's like so different. But in Italy, it was like, why are you sitting on this chair right now? Or not chair, why are you sitting on the curb? Like, there was this one morning, me and my brother were trying to have this croissant and coffee. Amazing combo that's not in America, by the way. The food is one thing that I always got the hype for when I was traveling, by the way. But we're trying to have this croissant and coffee on a curb, and police came over and like were like, stand up. And like, they were like, you just can't sit, you have to stand here. And like, we awkwardly stood and ate it. And I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't really know like politics in Europe. Maybe there was like something going on. But that's just never been the case here in America, where it's like, oh, stand up. Like, that's like I think in America that would cause cause like a fight in the street if a police officer told a random guy to try and stand up. Like, they'd be like, what are you telling me to stand for? You know? But that's besides the point. Where was I? Oh, I was looking back on these cities retrospectively, being like, okay, I see a little bit of the energy of these cities, of, you know, Rome and of Florence and of all these things. And, you know, that made me, over like the course of the other reason I didn't see it while I was there, by the way, too, is because my brother is a general when it comes to traveling. He booked us, like, he was like the one who set up all the hostels and like the trains for the backpacking. Shout out trains, by the way, awesome, need more of those. And he like scheduled in literally 2 hours of sleep some nights. And then I'd wake up the next morning, I'd blink and I'd be awake again. And I'd be like, what, like, can I please sleep another hour? And he goes, you should get better at sleeping tomorrow night. I heard you awake using the bathroom last night. And then he just kept it moving. And I didn't talk to him for 2 days because of that. And it's weird not talking to somebody, trying to give them the silent treatment, and then like every now and again having to try and like pull up the itinerary that they made on your phone. But the point is, retrospectively, looking back, even though I was forced around by my brother, who is a military general, and I didn't really get it in the moment, I started seeing like, okay, there was something to that, right? And I think the point that I really started getting travel is when I went to London, which was it last year? I'm terrible with timelines. You guys must think I like just don't have a calendar. Like, you must think I don't own a calendar based on how much I go, was it last year or 8 years ago? But I think it was last year I went to London, right? And I went there for a full 2 weeks. And I think being in one spot for 2 weeks let me see the appeal of things. Because, like, you know, going everywhere and just like seeing things is cool, and I think there's a value to that, and I almost would encourage all of you to do that if you can. I think you know, backpacking is a great way to do that if you can, like, if you're somebody who has the means to, and like the attitude where you enjoy going to a hostel and like being with 10 other guys. When I was in this hostel in Zurich, I met this guy who was from China. And I was talking to him and I was like, so what are you doing here in Zurich? Because like, I feel like it's a very like white guy thing to do, to be like, I'm gonna get some granola bars and I'm gonna put on a backpack. And they always get like the band on their head too. And they're like, I'm gonna go hike to adventure, right? Like, I feel like that's such like a, you know, white man thing to do, that like, maybe, again, this is just the American in me talking, where I was like, like, you're from China and you also do this, like, what's your story, right? And he was like, I worked in an office in China and it was just too hot, so I decided I'm gonna get out of here. And what I did is I saved all my money and then moved out, and now I'm just going north until it gets colder. And I was just so confused, because like, Zurich, I guess it depends where China's huge, so it really depends where you're at in China. But like it's not like you just go straight up from China and get to Zurich. So I don't know what plan he was following. And he was like, I've been gone for 6 months and I'm trying to figure out how to not go home again because I hate the warmth. And I was just like, what an insane, awesome thing to do. Like, we need more of that energy of like, I'ma just head north because it's too warm here. And now I live a completely different life. I'll be honest, guys, I snuck a photo of him and sent it to one of my friends and was like, this is my idol. And I'm not gonna it'd be unethical to put that photo in this video. But I wish I could. To be completely honest with you guys, I wish I could. Because wow, what a guy. Honestly, what a guy. Yeah, that was great. But the point is, being somewhere for a long time let me find the charm of a city, and that's why now I see a lot of value in traveling, and I think it's very good. You also grow a lot doing it, which was the whole other thing, but I don't know. This video is half actual stuff and half just me rambling about random stories, which I think like I have a lot of, but like I don't get to talk about them much, so I don't know, maybe you guys enjoyed this. If you did, let me know, and I'll do more stuff like it where I egotistically go, look at this thing I met, look at this guy I did, or like whatever. This is the painting. I want to go in and just mess around. I have a ton of colors in the palette. because, yesterday I painted those 2 guys, and then the day before that I did all those houses and a ton of colors in the palette just because of that. So I was like, let's use some of them in just a random thing, dive straight in, and this is what we got. Cool. Something I was trying to do, or I've been wanting to do more, is get like a really rapid brush motion, because I feel like sometimes I go in with too much of an idea and I don't get the chance to really just like feel the brush move. I sound insane right now. But I did that here, and I think you can see that, and I like that a lot. So yeah, go check this out over on the Instagram, and until tomorrow, guys, gals, and actually tell me any fun travel stories you have, by the way. Just I need to do more call to actions in these videos, because that's like the YouTuber thing to do or whatever, to get views or comments or whatever. Do it. Do the comment down below your fun stories, because I like to read them. And until next time, guys, gals, and pals, my name is Max Dice. This has been Paint and Talk episode 92. I'm here every morning, painting and talking with you all.